quick look at this. So if you look at the context of any project or any product, you have got some features to be developed, so which is basically the scope, and you've got some time, and you've got cost. So these are the three parameters, and then you've got something called as a quality. You need to maintain some quality. You can't deliver something cheap and with lousy quality. So these are the fundamental variables within which you can operate anything in this world, right? You've got some features, and you've got a limited time or whatever time that you have got, and there is a cost associated to develop those features in this time. And then these features and are expected to have good quality or decent quality. For example, you can work on a particular feature like developing the CRM product. You can work on it for like 5 years or 10 years, right? And then you can create the most beautiful CRM product in the whole wide world. But do you have that luxury? You might not have. So what we do is we'll try and fix the features, right? In the traditional way, you fix the features. You say, I want this time. And then when you fix the features, what happens is the time and the cost, they would vary because you fix the features. So you would say that, okay, if I've got these to develop these 15, 20, 100 features, it would take me, let's say, 2 years. And it would cost me £3 million, for example, right? And then because of that, the quality, which otherwise you say that, okay, do you take 3 years? No, I want it in 2 years. By 2023, I want to deliver this product. Then you say, okay, I can still do these 100 features. You still want the 100 features? Yes. But then you know what? I think the quality would get affected because you want to quicken the process, right? So the quality is not going to be as expected. It might a little, it might get affected a little. Are you okay with that? If you have got defects of about 5% defects, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So we agree, we get to this kind of agreement, contracting, and then we continue with this approach. So what is fixed here is the features, and the time and cost vary with the traditional ones, okay? Whereas with DSDM or even the agile approaches, what happens is you got the time and the cost, those are fixed already. So you say that I have got to complete this in 3 months or 6 months or or sprint, whatever. So that's fixed. So we are actually kind of inverting the pyramid with agile, with Atern. It's called Atern, but don't worry about it. It's basically another term for the DSDM approach. It's called Atern, ATERN. It's called Atern. So what it does is it fixes the time and the cost. Obviously, the reason why the cost is fixed is basically because the time is fixed. So you say, okay, I want this to be done in 3 months. Then you say, okay, for that, it would roughly cost about 500K. Okay, so you say 500K. All right. So that's fixed. So you can't expect to get more than 500K. And you have to do, come what may, you've got to deliver in 3 months. Right. And then what would change, or what is variable there is the features. So the features, because you fix the time and the cost, and perhaps a bit of quality there, what is changing is the features here. You're not fixing the features here. So you can afford to play around with some of the features. Oh, I don't need reporting, it'll come later. I don't need login, I've already got it. Don't bother about login because it's meant for everybody's usage. Okay, so okay, that leaves us with about 45 features. You know what, I don't need these. So that's where the prioritization would happen in Agile, right? So the Moscow prioritization, the must have, should have, could have, will not have now. So those things, what is important, what is urgent, only those would fit in, right? And the rest, what we'll do it later. After this 3 months, after this, we'll look at it later. We are talking about the time limit, the time boxing of 3 months, and that's what we want to deliver, right? So that's what is the approach with Agile. It's fixed time, cost, and content.
What do you mean by Atern? ATERN? What is that?
That's what is the term that they use for DSDM. So Atern is an approach like Kanban. Atern is an approach that DSDM suggests. This is what is called DSDM. We have not discussed this. We'll do it again later in another session on the Agile course.
I love coming up with so many acronyms.
Yeah. But Atern is not an acronym. It's basically it's like Kanban. It's like Lean, Kanban. It's like Scrum. Okay. It's just a name of that, and that's what is DSDM uses, basically Atern approach.
Yeah.
So this is basically the Agile concept, right? If you look at it, this they're trying to fix the time boxing is happening at time boxes of about 2 to 4 weeks. And then because of that, the cost is also, you're trying to ascertain the first. And then you're saying that the features are now, instead of keeping them fixed, you're trying to work around with what can be fit into this time box of 3 weeks. So you're doing the prioritization there. Pretty much most of the agile methods are like this. And this was done about 25, 30 years ago at Atern. And after that, Scrum has adopted a similar approach, and pretty much all from there on, Kanban, Lean, XP, everything has got this kind of. But with Kanban, it doesn't have a time box. There's no time box in Kanban. That's why I said it's not a product development. It's basically a flow of work process. It's good for process development, process engineering, process improvement. So, but the rest of the methods have got time boxes, and that's where this time and cost getting fixed, and so reduced chances of scope creep. So because you already defined the scope, there's no such thing as scope creep, because you've already fixed the scope for this particular time box. You said, don't worry about the rest of 4,500. Just focus on these 10 features. Let's deliver this in the next 3 weeks. So there's no point of scope creep, right? You fix that already for the time, for the thing. And then development is controlled because you're not looking elsewhere. You're not looking at 5 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 months down the line. You're looking at only that 3 weeks, and you're just working on that and developing that functionality. And clear objectives, because you know what you're going to get at the end of this time period, right? The time box. That's the whole concept, advantage of Atern or agile approaches. So that actually kind of sets you with what we have in terms of the more or less popular agile methods. So you've got Kanban, Scrum, all these other things. We'll talk about a few others later, as we like XP and other things we'll discuss in detail in the next few days. But don't worry too much. But the whole idea is in terms of the fundamental difference between waterfall and these kind of agile methods. What is it that they are going to deliver? What is the core focus area? Yeah, this is the thing. Just take this as the main important takeaway.